platform. I mean, I was going to do the Road Dogg kind of open to the show.
Yeah, let me come up here now. Y'all, mic check, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman going live here as the signal flare goes up. Infidels late night help session after one of the worst shows I think I've ever seen. So just waiting. Looks like we are live here. So mic check 1 2. Yo, infidels, hear me now. It's Hacker Hamin. It's the smack attack run-in. There's something I had to do. I took Big Ray out. He took a $5 face slap and went down for the count so I could do the run-in here with CY, this man CW himself. That's right, infidels. CW Anderson. No, it's the CY Colin Y song here on your smack attack with Hacker Hamin. And you heard other raps before. You keep waiting for the son of song. I keep dance all strong. Beats never worthy of my cause. I prolong. That's right, infidels. Beware the propaganda. Be wary of the skill. That's right. And we're going to get some skills here because there's a lot of skills that need to be found on SmackDown. YOLO. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Late night, come home, work sucks. I know. Holy shit on a shingle, Chris Kringle. One of the worst SmackDowns I think I've seen of 2019. But I'm glad to be here, man, with a hot new property, young talent, the young heater. CW.
Definitely a young heater. Yeah. I was telling Bello I'm like the Miz of Hamin Media. I just generate a shit ton of heat.
Yeah. CY himself, Colin Wyson, formerly known as Wrestling Redneck, but I had to clip that because it's time to elevate his character here. And he's pulling, big duty with Ray, but we want to say Big Ray, feel better, buddy. No worries. Happy to jump in the foxhole and take the, gunner's post if we need to and fire some shots here. As you can see, Real Tree outdoor camo. What time is it now? 11:20. Probably get done about 12:30. Back up 5 a.m. Head to the woods.
Well, we have our own intern here at the Smack Attack. I knew you were coming in. I had Jersey Mike bring the harem of women. They've got the grapes. He actually even went out and shot a deer, made some venison for you tonight.
Nice.
All the accoutrements here for Big Ray Mean tonight on the Smack Attack.
Yo, I like that. Lay it out for me. If we're gonna have catering before Nia Jax gets back, let's get everything out that we can here. See Voices of Misery probably just wrapping their live show, joining us here in the chat at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. And I apologize, CY, if my voice is raspy, man. I've put in a lot of hours on the mic the last month, and I think it's starting to catch up with me. So maybe I'll take a swig of whiskey and see if that helps it or hurts it.
Swig of whiskey for the working man.
Yeah, well, it's old time. We got? I got some rare breed back there. We'll go Guggenheimers.
I just got off work and I have my gang colored work cup.
That's it. You don't want to get caught out there Pyru style, baby. Would get caught slipping in Crip Land, man. Ain't no half stepping here, but here's to the late nights. Appreciate you guys joining us, man, as we break down SmackDown and whatever else we want to talk about here to try and lift our spirits. And I just can't believe this is what Friday nights have come to.
I mean, last week was so good. And this week we got the first leg of the European tour. We get this terrible promo.
Let me stop you right there. Last week was so good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was from a fan's perspective of watching the show, not knowing what was going to happen. It definitely drew a lot of eyes in. I think they did 2.5 million being back on Fox.
Yeah, but that didn't have fuck all to do with good creative.
Oh no, of course not. No.
What did it have to do with?
Them trying the fact that Big Ray sent me over to Saudi Arabia last week. I got a little bit of a scoop with those guys. It definitely was Triple H bringing those guys in to save the day.
Yeah,
but it set up the business that they had announced that Thursday for Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
See, I can't stooge off all of my insiders because that's just not how shit's done, and I'm not a stooge. But I do know at the 11th hour that Bloom was stressed out at NXT, like trying to get guys sent. So none of that shit had to do with good creative. And on Russo brand, with Vince and Stevie on Raw SmackDown Review, Vince does an awesome breakdown of every company, but he was just awestruck that you launch on Fox, you're making all these stars, and what did they do on this show? That whiskey made me feel good right there. I might slur a little now. I'm tired. I got warm real quick. Your fucking champ quits the show in the opening seg. How do you like that if you're Fox? Doesn't look good, right? And if he quits, what? He can just go to USA? Like, you could quit right now and go to someplace else. You could go pick up a job over at Conan's. Like, I mean, maybe you could, but like is that guaranteed? I don't, like that part's not told. So there's a hole in the story. Then NXT invades and they kick the shit 100% out of every SmackDown superstar in every segment. They go over strong. No schmaz till the end, just to get some dumb flip high spots in that if it's a real fight, nobody's going to go bunch up so I can do a flip on you and then go, now do it with the big guy so it looks cooler. Like, so fucking phony. And so if you're Fox, the roster that's on USA, that's the undercard feeder system, just showed up and beat the fuck out of all your main stars that you had there who weren't being held hostage in KSA.
Yeah, I went to the AEW show this past Wednesday in Charlotte.
Oh, did you? My buddy went too. Yeah, what'd you think?
And one of the Young Bucks had everyone gather around him as he jumped off the entrance tunnel to AEW. I mean, it looks very organic. Like that's how that normally happens in a wrestling match.
Matt or Nick?
I can't tell the difference between
dark
the two.
hair.
I've been watching. I was so far away, it was hard to tell. I'd have to go back and watch the AEW show to be
I only watched the first hour or so. Yeah, that is almost excusable because their whole thing is ribbing the business and it's a spot monkey thing, so everybody knows and they're in on it. You know what I mean? The other thing is supposed to look like a real invasion, but at the end, it ends up being about Triple H standing center and looks small as shit compared to Game. And it was a Band-Aid on a broken leg. So the only reason those ratings were up was because wrestling fans were going, holy shit, half the roster is being held hostage covertly in Saudi Arabia. I wonder what the fuck is going to happen. And then the show felt good because there was no heavy scripting and plotting because nerves are up. We're writing it that day. And like some wrestling shows are written and you got to rely on who's going to jump in and be able to toe the line. You know what I mean? So when you have that real magic, again, injected into it a little bit, the show feels good. That's why I think you're like, oh, it was a good show. Because probably most of the writers and half the assholes who are yes men were stuck in Saudi Arabia who couldn't fuck it up. And the talent who was hungry just did the show last minute.
Oh, and that, like you said, the talent that was hungry, this was probably the first chance a lot of these NXT stars had of being on a broadcast network such as Fox. So, get the eyes out there, get everything going out there. I mean, Fox is definitely in a lot more homes than FS1. So I have to agree with you there. The hungry talent of NXT showed through on Friday, but not so much on Monday. I caught a little bit. I listened to the Wednesday locker room. So it sounded like the run-ins weren't as exciting as they were for the Friday show.
Dude, like who you gonna have run in on you? What's the new era? What do they call themselves?
Undisputed Era?
Yeah. I've worked shows with all those guys. Big respect for Bobby Fish's Muay Thai skills. I like the way he mixes his shit in. But you see those guys, Kyle O'Reilly, Fish, and Alex, what the fuck's his name? Or Adam Cole and I could never
Roddy
remember.
Strong.
Yeah. Dude, it looks like you could knock them out at the movie theater. They don't look like a threat. Game standing in between them, and Seth's on the other side. It looks like the de-evolution of Triple H, from Triple H to Seth to, down to Adam Cole. Like, it's just a rib kind of, not that he doesn't have star power, but like, who gives it? Like, those guys are supposed to intimidate somebody? Come on, man. So like your top guys are getting laid down, man, just for a quick band-aid on a broken leg, instead of saying, let's come up with some inventive ways on the flight here to go 50-50 and protect it. Because if you're Fox and you just paid $1 billion, they just beat your whole fucking roster and your champ quit in one night.
Yeah, that's one thing I was surprised about. I mean, I guess they're trying to say now that Brock is moving over because they had that trade. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're using the whole Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss being traded over to SmackDown now to kind of bring Brock over. The one thing I didn't get from last Friday was
Oh, I
when
want to punch you in the mouth so bad right now.
when Stephanie came out and she was like waving to Hunter. It's like he's coming in, he's gonna attack your brand too. Like, why are you doing the kissy face, the blowy to Triple H when like y'all are about to be at war with each other?
At war. Like, here, it's such bullshit. They're so stupid. It's there for them on a silver platter, right? Everything sucks right now. Everything sucks. Ratings suck for everybody. Wrestling's not cool. It's so plotty predicated. Heaters on camera getting payback instead of doing the right thing and all whatever. The war is AEW versus WWE. WWE thinks they're slick by putting blinders on and getting little covert shots in and going, oh, it's war, but the war is between NXT and Raw and Smack. No, it's not. Everybody knows it's all WWE. And guess what? NXT is developmental, and that means half your roster sucks and is not TV ready. Not at all, as you saw on this week's NXT in that girls match where they're going slow motion, baby. It was rotten. And you have this idiot NXT crowd giving a false positive to anything to keep them hyped up. The only purpose NXT serves is to be on TV to take that audience from that would tune into AEW. So AEW can never reach full momentum and growth to actually compete with Raw and SmackDown. That's NXT's only reason for being on TV. So if that's the war, let's talk some shit about it, about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, if Marco Stunt and those guys were a hot topic, Corey Graves should have been burying them like openly, but without saying their names. Like, a bunch of dudes like they should just be taking things from AEW and doing them better in WWE, like blatantly ripping them, because WWE's audience is going to see it first and bigger. And even if it came from AEW, this is exactly what they did with ECW. And fucking then they're going to be like, oh, they're just copying them. No, you know, but it looks like Johnny come lately to a 10-year-old who doesn't watch AEW. So they're already putting themselves in a wrong mindset. They're not even set up for success. They're not even on the right road, really, to be honest with you. The money is in the shoot. The money is saying, enough of the fake, phony bullshit. Fuck you. Let's see who the best wrestling is. Let's get controversial. Let's make people talk at the water cooler. Like, right now, I had people message me all night on Twitter where they're like, a couple people had people just watch wrestling with them for the first time. And they're like, what is this shit?
I saw that New Day tweet.
Yeah. I'm just like, how do I defend it, dude? I'm done defending them, because you can even see Big E and those guys on camera. Like, they just stick with it so Big E can keep wilding out and grab Charlie and do, screams and start getting stupid. Those guys are done, man. Like, they're just done. Like, you see everybody mailing it in. No, but nobody's performance is inspired.
So we wouldn't catch Ben Hamin doing Angel Snowflake, like snow angels in the middle of the ring, like Big E was tonight.
As Ben Hamin, no, not until I turn way bait. Maybe in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I'm do them sand angels. Big shout out to Voices of Misery again in the chat room. I see Jay Reezy, TX Sooner with the bitch here. Appreciate that, Briz. Nick Metal's in there, Late Night Disco, El Travolta, and Luis Diva SCA. Appreciate that, y'all.
Now, on your point of WWE needing to kind of shoot their shot at AEW, that's all Jericho's been doing. When the
Smart
guys
as
came
shit.
out for Hager, he said that's buried, it's over and done with. This past Wednesday, he took
Even
a
that
couple
is
more
light.
shots.
Even that is light, dude. That's light.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean,
would
but he's the
I
only
would
one that
take
seems to be
Saudi.
doing it.
He should take Saudi shots. He should take, like, they should be talking openly what's on the sheets. Like, he should bury Ryan Satin hard, dude. Because
Oh yeah,
Satin was their
that's an
boy,
easy
right?
target.
Yeah, with Satin was their boy, and he hates Satin now, and like told him to fuck off and all that. But he was Mr. Pro Wrestling Gorilla with the Bucks and all them, and then he didn't get the job. Suckholed his way into the Fox job because they're marks for the sheet writers, and that guy might not have his job for very long. I'm predicting too, with the choices they're making. But and then he becomes Mr. 49,000. Beautiful wrestling karma, but you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing there. They fucked themselves again fully with not the right choice, not the right people in the right spots for success. What do you expect? So if Jericho knows that and they can slam on them and he wanted to be with them, like, that's a ha gotcha right in their face. And then they even do their own shit smart, like that Jericho remake of the Cody promo 2 weeks ago, like shot for shot with, him in the bathtub as opposed to the isolation tank and the inner monologue, and Sammy doing the part that Brandy did, and the funny jokes of him being the youngest AEW champion ever.
38 years old.
Yeah, and they cut to Hager. He doesn't say shit just because we all saw him knee the guy in the balls. You know what I mean? Like, that's brilliant stuff. That's ribbing themselves. That's great. Now do that, set that bar, and then if you're going at that level yourself, go at that level at WWE, if not harder. Do what ECW did, man. Like, make some noise, because then people who would be watching that dog shit girls NXT match just because they're getting a false positive with that crowd, when they hear about that or read about it on Twitter, they're gonna instantly turn the channel, dude. They're not gonna, holy shit, you guys hear what they're saying here, and what's that gonna do? Then it won't be NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw. It'll be them firing back right on Raw. Right, it won't be coming through no NXT, bro.
Well, do you think that Vince is not paying any attention to AEW because he doesn't want to kind of like be that spark to ignite that fire over there?
They were sweating it. I know they were, but now they're laughing at it. I was talking to a lot of people on the inside, like, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be? And then the first 2 weeks, what do you think about it? What do you think about it? Because they know I'm neutral, right? And honest and brutal. And what do you hear? Da, da, da. And I give an honest opinion. They're like, yeah, I think they thought they had something, and now it's whatever. Now it feels like Nitro. Da, 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 da. Like, that's every wrestling conversation I've had the last 2 months with everybody from Canada to OVW to Chicago, man. To UK actually, and that's just it. Like, they're all shitty products. Nobody's over. Nobody's doing anything to full capacity. They all have moments of brilliance, a lot more, but they have more moments of like, what are you doing? So the moments of brilliance are killed by these gaping holes in management and story and continuity and quality of work.
And now I will say, for a live show, AEW blows WWE out of the water because they still have that catering to the fans. I was very surprised that Cody and them came out to do the BTE segment at the end. They threw T-shirts out. They did all this kind of stuff to still kind of endear themselves to the fans.
They're
They
cool
even brought a
guys,
little boy in
man.
whose birthday it was. Yeah, I mean, he even brought a kid whose birthday it was in to pin Brandon Cutler, and this kid won the championship of Charlotte. Like, that's something that I enjoy, especially going to a live show, because at WWE it's just very regimented. You do get like the one I went to, your boy Luke Harper. He cut a promo saying that we were looking at the next world champion. The guy was in some of the best shape he'd ever been in, and then he got injured, and that's that with him. Now he's back in there with Rowan, and I was a big Luke Harper guy. Like, I was excited to see him, get this opportunity, especially because I felt like he was one of the better workers coming out of the Wyatt Foundation and all that stuff. But he's
the best one out of all four of them.
Yeah, the live events though, I think are what make separate AEW, or AEW's here in terms of the live events with what they do with the fans and everything compared to the WWE that's kind of down here. But that
Well,
doesn't translate to
AEW
their
caters
shows.
AEW caters to the demographic that you're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bucks, no, the Bucks are pros at giving access to people and making them feel like they got a second or two with them. And Matt and Nick are genuinely that nice. Nick kind of could give a fuck as much, but Matt definitely.
Well, Cody's the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Cody on the road. We keep missing each other at shows, but we obviously we did 2 years together in Kentucky, so I know how he is, man. But now it's a whole different bag of tricks when you're, management too. But they know how to they know how to be awesome money generating baby faces.
Well, I'll say that time that I ran up on Cody and them at the ROH show, the time that he spent with me, allowing me to videotape him and trying to get you in for All Ben. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 14. I've been around a lot of people. I can usually kind of tell when somebody's a bullshitter and when somebody's a genuine person. And I really, truly felt that the Cody that I got right there was the Cody that everybody gets. Like, that's the Cody who's outside of, when the cameras aren't on, when he's just hanging out with everybody backstage. I felt like that was the genuine Cody. So
the only Cody you guys don't really get, and I agree with that fully, man, because they would kind of pick and choose who's over because they would see. I mean, it's Dusty's kid, right, and Dustin's brother, like, so he doesn't have to bullshit. Like, that's the thing. Like, Randy Orton's the same way. I'm lucky to hang out with them both a couple times and be like, well,
I've seen the dick side of Randy Orton though.
Yeah, but you're not one of the boys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm talking like there's guys he could flex on you and big league you easily if you were one of the boys. He just don't do it like that. So, there's guys who have legacy built in that second generation shit, and that's why they don't need to, and they can be cool like that. I think because that's something you can't take away from. So they don't need to be phony about it, because who the fuck do they have to impress at the end of the day? But yeah, that was cool when you ran up on him. He didn't probably know me as Ben Hamin, because right when he went on the road is when I got on TV. So as Pops, he would have known me, but that's fine. I mean, I talked to the Bucks shortly after that, but I'm happy for those guys because they know. You saw that new Cody shirt that's like the throwback to the Master P albums and shit. That's the smart shit, man. Like, if he wants to make 50 grand overnight, that's how he does it right there, dude. If you got 800,000 people, you drop that new shirt and you go throw 6 in the audience, how many people there are going to go buy that fucking new shirt? Right after that, you're going to sell out, and then they're going to, those who couldn't get it are going to go to Pro Wrestling Tees. So even if you have a house, right? Even if you have a house of how many people were at that show you were at?
Well, I don't know if I was one of the ones that posted the picture of the empty side of the arena over there. Right. I would say the half of the arena was full. So I'm not exactly sure how many people Bojangles Coliseum holds.
5,000 to 6,000 maybe.
Yeah, I mean they moved us from the top row because some of that middle bowl wasn't filled out.
Do it like this. Let's say high end, middle ground, 5,000, easy number, right? 10% of those are going to buy that t-shirt. That's 500 people. 500 people at Pro Wrestling Tees with no overhead. Times $6 is probably his profit margin, maybe more. He's probably got a better deal. I'd probably say it's $8. So there's $4,000 in your pocket in one night. You didn't have to do fuck all except go shoot a t-shirt gun.
Well, the one item that I noticed,
and make Marks feel like that Cody likes him.
The one item that I noticed that it was sold out at the merch table was the sweatshirt, the AEW sweatshirt that kind of looks like a jacket. It was $60.
$60, probably $20 to produce. And I bet if it's a Pro Wrestling Tees deal, they're probably taking 20 on each of them, and you figure everybody's got one. 10,000, there's 200 grand in fucking sweatshirt sales.
I mean, look, I've bought a number of your shirts. I'm actually wearing the Redacted Tactics shirts right now. I've helped supply plenty of Hamin media there to begin with.
New
But
shirts coming too soon. Hopefully for Black Friday, we'll have everything out ready to rock.
well, I am in a relationship with a Hispanic woman, and my Trump Ben Hamin shirt has somehow disappeared. The fiend has taken my shirt. I don't know what happened to it, but
ladies love the bad boys.
Let me let's go ahead and get into the Smack Attack. We kind of started at the top here talking about the terrible Baron Corbin promo to start the show. We had Titantron Chihuahua was incredibly terrible. Just saying that the bark, Roman has no bite with his bark anymore. And then he ended it talking about once he's done beating up Roman Reigns, he brought out these little doggy poop bags and told the crowd that they could come in and pick up the big dog's excrements. Which, I wrote in here, if you were in charge of this promo, how would you have had Corbin go about this?
None of this whatsoever, dude. None of it. I mean, it's brutally bad. It has Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard written all over it.
Yeah.
You're going to get the excrement. He's not the big dog anymore. He's the little puppy. He's an ankle biter. And you're not scared of him. You'll get, I'll squeeze the shit right out of him. And then, but you can't say shit. You got to say excrement. Yeah. Like, dude. And Bruce, yeah, that's good. Yeah. You know, like, you can just hear it. And Baron's like, yeah, I can do that. Sure. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Instead of being like, dude, he won King of the Ring, you know, like we got all this real heat. Like, don't give me a little barking dog graphic I gotta look at like I'm a fucking moron. But this is where a guy who's learning how to be a wrestler while he's on the road. And even the match at the end, you know, so many matches on this show are buried because they're NXT factory matches, which I'll talk about. And now it's really plagued them. It's come to really bite them in the ass right at this time of nobody knows how to work and do anything right. They false finish, turnover. Oh, what? Come on. Or clothesline comeback. Oh, come on. I'm Nikki Cross. Yeah. The crowd's sitting on their ass. Yay. And boom. Oh, dude, it's NXT step by step by step. And I don't know if it translates to you guys, but because I watch wrestling as a worker and I used to watch wrestling as a mark, and it's completely different, two different ways. So I don't know if that's me just watching it going, oh my God, dude.
It's like MMA for me. I mean, having done jujitsu and trained in that sense and being a part of that kind of crowd, I watch MMA matches a little bit differently than somebody who's just coming in that's never trained a day in their life, you know, watching an MMA fight. So I completely understand where you and I would be watching it from a different eye. I mean, like I think you said, Massey, your Sideburns. I would love to hear his take on just
a lot of people ask me that. I got a lot of good referees. I'm thinking about adding a referee miniseries to talk about that because it'd
be something different.
Try it. Just watch the ref. It will fuck with you how you can watch things differently. You know what I mean? And then if you want to be a commentator too, that's a whole different thing too, man. Yeah. This, how would I do it? How would I get Baron Corbin over? I mean, if it's a Game of Thrones thing you're trying to do instead of just dress him up like an idiot, what's he got to do, right? His heat is that he commands Baron Corbin to come down here and kneel before him. Like, we're in a kingdom, and this place is
they're in United Kingdom. They would have been perfect.
This place is fit for a king. I beat you, and now it's your time to kneel before me, and I'm not leaving here till you do that. And instead of like, you know what I mean? And he wouldn't come. And then you could even go, I'm sure here would come the coward line. Vince would need that. But like, you know what I mean? And if you don't come back there, then I'm going to send my royal guard to get you. He need to have guys with him. They go back. Roman beats the shit out of him, fights him off, walks out to come bow before him, face him, you know, whatever, set up the match. That's just off the top of my head. There's 1,000 ways to do things. But a barking dog graphic, and then all you people are going to pick up dog shit at the end of this match.
But he even got the cheap heat line with going after Roman for doing the Make-A-Wish thing.
He went over.
That's the easy heat right there.
He went, oh yeah. it might be true. How many people you know came back from cancer in that amount of time? You know, did it pay? He went over. So talking all that bullshit, talk about it, you're going to pick up shit. Doesn't
Well, he
pay
went
off.
over with a little bit of help though too.
Doesn't matter. Heals up.
Yeah.
Now the crowd's got. Did the crowd have doggy bags and pick up shit? No.
No, but we had to. We had to pick
All
up
that
the shit of this show.
that should have paid off. Everything that you saw there, I don't know if you understand this term, is a house show shit. None of that stuff that they are doing in multiple segments on the show should be done on TV. The No Way Jose run around the ring type stuff and all that, that's all house show shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of this stuff, that type of promo, boo yay spots where guys get in the corners and boo yay. You've seen that at house shows, right? Like this is an example of that. And here it is kicking off your TV. Workers who watch this, like wrestlers who watch this with each other, go, dude, what is this house show shit? Like, I guarantee 90% of the business who watches this, who might listen to this podcast, they say that to their buddy. What the fuck are they doing this house show shit for?
Well, you're not listening to any house show shit here with heavy Haminery tonight, guys.
No.
He is shooting on everything that he saw tonight. So next we got a little bit of a backstage.
This is one of the top 3 worst SmackDowns of 2019.
I do remember you saying that.
Bad. Yeah. It is bad.
Well, so we had a backstage segment with Big E and Kofi Kingston getting interviewed by Kayla Braxton. Big E is confused about where Kofi is. Do you know where this jail and embezzlement thing would come from? Do you know what this rib might be a part of? Because I haven't heard anything in the news recently about any kind of jailing or embezzlement. Are they shooting shots at Vince?
Maybe. They could be. That could be because, dude, look at the stock price. We were at what, 110 at one time. Now we're at 52, 53 today. And how are you going to get your own stock price inflated, cash in at a high, take out $180 million, know it's going to drop because of your shitty creative and trends? It's easy to call. You know what your numbers are on merch long before anybody else does, right? In the stock price. So they pull that money out, they take the hit, then they can do what? Buy back in at a low price again, use $100 million for XFL like they need to, take $80 million, buy stock back in, kick it back up to $100 million. Dude, that's embezzlement, SEC. And you think that shit?
I heard you call that. I heard you or somebody, maybe Stevie, you guys were talking about it either on the Friday Locker Room or Conspiracy Horseman, where y'all said this was the exact, like you called the Saudi Arabia thing. You mentioned this same exact thing happening. I mean,
yeah, dude.
Are you going to pull off a mask and you're going to really be Vince McMahon under there?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I've missed 8 Raws in the history of wrestling. In the history of Raw, I haven't missed a week of wrestling in over 30 years. And I teach marketing and I political science and I watch the world and and I'm a worker. It's just how it all comes together. It's not like I'm a soothsayer. There's only so many roads you can go down, and I look at things critically. So sometimes there's no way they're going down this road, and they start down it. You're like, it's going to end bad. I see the fucking end. Here's how it's going to end. Let me tell you. And 3-4 weeks later, here we are. But that's because they have yes men around them, people who don't know the business, and a guy who's out of touch with the streets. And if you listen to Russo Brand, if you're not a subscriber, it's a great show this week because he even goes through NWA, what they're doing great and what they're really missing, Impact and WWE and AEW, and nothing malicious, just like the constructive, like here's the holes and some of those holes they're aware of that are round, they're trying to put a square peg in, and it's getting them 49,000. From 400. It got him an 88% viewer drop in fucking 1 week.
Well, and that's the crazy thing, because they had all of, like, when Talking Smack was a thing, people were excited for Talking Smack, and then they're trying. I guess Fox is trying to catch the glory days of what Talking Smack was with this WWE backstage, and it's completely backfiring on them. Like when the Miz and Daniel Bryan were shooting, like when the Miz just shot all over Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. I don't know if you remember that, but I mean that had the dirt sheets and the internet, the IWC, up in an uproar because they were just like, is he really coming after Bryan like this? Like I think that they need to get back to something like that. But like you've always said, here's Renee Young is getting her thing over, and that's not what Vince wants to have happen here. So maybe they're just falling back in line because I mean Renee and Booker can easily get that show to where it needs. I mean, especially Booker. Booker knows what to do. Booker knows the business
dude,
that he
he's
needs
the
to be
man.
doing.
Booker T's the man, bro. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. And for Renee Young to even have a job leaves me scratching my head, bro. Like, why? Why would you want to keep her on the payroll when Moxley left you high and dry? This is where the Russo, WWE invested in AEW like they were with ECW the same way. Conspiracy exists because why would you want Moxley to have insurance and all this other shit when he just fucked you? And does that sound like the Vince you know?
No, and hell no.
No. So and him cutting his chick, who's probably got a fatter contract than AEW would offer him, puts more money in his pocket too and more security while he's on the road. So, and she's rotten. She's not, I mean, she's not ugly by any means. I mean, she's an attractive chick, no doubt. But when it comes to wrestling, what credibility, what job, like, she was thrown on to Raw. I don't know why they wanted to do that for the women's movement and have somebody there. But again, it's not a seasoned performer. Whose spot is that? You want a blonde to be on commentary and do a decent job but have credibility? That's Beth Phoenix. Yep. You don't fucking like they just keep touching bruises saying, why does this hurt? And
she got kicked in the face last week or 2 weeks ago and was just whining about it the whole entire time. I think my nose is bleeding. My nose is bleeding. Like, okay, go with it. Like, yeah, you just got kicked in the face.
Yeah, couldn't happen to a better person.
So the next match that we had here was the New Day going up against the Revival. The New Day kind of teasing that they're trying to keep up with Charlotte, and this could possibly be their seventh time winning the tag titles. We got Kofi to start with a lot of quick pin attempts. Wilder faking a leg injury, kind of luring Big E in, and then Dawson and Wilder take Kofi out. They focus on Big E. You got a double rope hung DDT. A little bit of a callback to the stuff on Twitter with Orton and the Revival kind of being together. The Revival were trying to set up the Shatter Machine. You get the assisted. Basically, Kofi gets the tag. Big E gets an assisted Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi makes the pin. And we've got a 7-time tag team champs in the New Day. Your overall thoughts on this match?
A lot of bad. Why are we doing a title switch on SmackDown with no build? We're just doing it out of nowhere. Put it back on the babies.
Now, do you think this could be because the Revival's contract situation and them possibly going to AEW? Do you think this was maybe some kind of backlash? Because I had this in my notes too. Do you think this was some kind of punishment due to the Orton team up thing with kind of that rumor that was swirling around?
Right? They re-signed him.
I know Orton got re-signed. I'm not exactly sure about the Revival.
Oh, that might change my perspective because I didn't know that. Could be, yeah, it definitely could be. Most likely, if they didn't re-sign, Orton signed for huge, but just out of nowhere to do it, and they're in a weakened state without Xavier or what have you. That's when they can take a loss. They don't have their boy. That's a reason why they're not at 100% to not win the titles. And then, he comes back in a wheelchair and they win it or whatever. But like the Revival top guys or rich guys or whatever they claim to be every other goddamn week finally got the rub from Orton. And then they're wrestling like they're supposed to be tight. They're supposed to be the brain busters, supposed to be Tully and Arn. And then they're doing a fake knee spot, jump up, kick out, laughing, jumping around like, ha ha, gotcha heels. Nope. Wrong. I see these guys they're so good a lot of times, and then they make such bad mistakes, but they think they're fucking over as hell, dude. But when you show up to the Hall of Fame and you're in WWE and you got a Bret Hart jacket on, it shows that there's marks in the locker room, dude.
Well, speaking of Tully and Arn, Arn came out and was a guest announcer for one of the AEW Dark matches. So AEW looking like they're trying to piece together the Four Horsemen and maybe lure Tessa over to AEW.
Absolutely they are.
So we got Roman Reigns arriving to the arena, and Shorty G runs up to tell Roman about this promo. Now later on, the minute I saw this, I called Shorty G Snitchy G, and then later Corey kind of puts it over on commentary too. That was like, what do you think of some of these backstage segments where they're just kind of taking up time? I mean, showing Roman getting there late, these kinds of things that they had.
Just like the walk up 5-second things.
Yeah.
I like those. It sets a tone for me, but like, it's bullshit. The show's going on. Guys don't show up an hour before their match and be like, like, hey, I'm here, my bag, throw my boots on, walk out, wrestle. That's not, people know that's not how it goes, dude. You don't do it like that. If you're going to do an earlier in the day and he shows up and something happens, but like when people just show up like it's there Raw, no, you've been there since 3. We all know.
So after that, we got a backstage with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn kind of brings up the conversation they had a couple weeks ago. Tells Bryan that had he joined him and Nakamura, that he would guaranteed to be the NXT champion. Zayn then takes credit for Nakamura and Cesaro's success. He invites Bryan to watch Cesaro and Nakamura take on Ali G and Shorty G later on in the night. I said Ali G. I was Ray was doing that last week too, to take on Ali and Shorty G. Do you like this Sami Zayn with Nakamura? Is this something that do you feel like this is, because I like Sami Zayn and Nakamura together. Like I like just the energy that Sami Zayn has and that he brings to the fact that Nakamura doesn't speak English well. As someone that's taken Japanese, I took 3 years of Japanese in high school. English is definitely a lot harder to learn than Japanese is. But like I don't know how you feel exactly about this. I mean, do you like Sami Zayn kind of being that mouthpiece for him and Cesaro?
The chemistry definitely works. Cesaro, I went by himself. I don't know. Cesaro and Luke Harper, it's unfucking believable to me that those guys are not in your top main event as feeder for dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
they call Cesaro the pound for pound strongest guy in the WWE, and here he is like just catching guys and doing that type of stuff. I mean, I do feel like they've missed the chance for a Cesaro run. I mean, they might be able to do it down the road later.
They had it again and they blew it. Dude, whoever doesn't step up in that office and when somebody goes, I don't see money on him, and say, dude, Cesaro and Luke Harper, I have money written all over them. If you don't book them in top spots in the mains, you are a fucking retard. Anybody who doesn't do that in there is complicit to that at this point, because you're leaving millions of dollars on the table for the boys. Everybody will profit. For somebody's ego, they just, I don't see money right now. Well, that's because you're not in touch with the streets, Bruce and Vince. Yeah. And you don't see that these guys are your two top workhorses who've never had a bad segment ever. What does that tell you? Give them time, get them over. It's just stupid shit like that. It absolutely kills me, dude.
So I've heard you kind of bring up the out of touchness of a Bruce Pritchard and a Vince McMahon, not including yourself and Vince Russo, since you are kind of in the know around the circles of wrestling and everything like that. Who would you bring on as a booker in some of these smaller promotions that you feel like has their finger on the pulse? Who is somebody like that that could come in and do the proper work, and actually that, the person that has their pulse on what professional wrestling, what we want to see as fans, as us casuals, and not necessarily you guys, the workers. Like,
there's got to be guys who are actually workers at one time mixed with somebody who's passionate and creative about something. For me, it's 2CW management. It's Josh and Steve and Jack Trades and me. Like, that's a great team. There's guys in OVW who I wrote with who are phenomenal workers that nobody really even knows, because and I love them. If this word gets back to them, I don't care. I love them. It's for their own good. They're stuck in the OVW fucking bubble where they're on TV and they've been there for 10 years and nobody outside of that market knows who the fuck they are. And they're goofs on themselves, because when we get to OVW, we're taught you're about to be trained to be the best in the world, to be on TV at WWE. You're not going to train some indie bullshit with these indie goofs, and you're going to work here, and you're not going to go work anywhere else without permission, because you're not going to get hurt and fuck up your TV time here. And that's understandable, right? But you're making zero money while you're learning your craft. That's cool. That was the old OVW model under WWE regime. But they're still there 10 years later, and they're not working Canada. They're not trying to get booked in Mexico. They're not going to Japan. They're not even going 4 hours up the road to Chicago. And I'm talking, these are guys I think are the best workers on the fucking planet, dude. And I wrote with some of them, Adam Revolver and Ted the Trailer McNair, they're the mobile homers. They do a Southern Kentucky redneck gimmick. It's not as hardcore as like the Briscoe brothers are, but it was a more comedy thing. But they can also wrestle their fucking asses off, dude. And there's I just named those two guys. I can go right down the line: Michael Hayes, Jamie Lavencia, the guys who are workers who could be awesome in a company. When I watch AEW and I see these guys who have spots, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me, bro? And so I would say Adam Revolver, Ted McNair would be awesome, because they've written for half of WWE already and they've worked them, and we are all trained by. And you want to talk about who Rip Rogers trusts the most mind wise, would be Jamin Olavencia, Ted the Trailer McNair, and Adam Revolver. And how much do I quote Rip? And
yeah,
people know Jamin. Jamin's been out and around a little bit more, but at the same time, I hate to talk shit on my brothers, man, because I love those guys so much, but it breaks me up that they've been stuck in that bubble so long that they don't know what's out there. They're not out there even making the money they should be making on the indies. They're not doing that because they think Impact or somebody's going to come around. They're just not making moves. Breaks me up.
Well, a good friend and somebody that cares about you is not going to sugarcoat the shit for you. They're going to tell you had a shitty match. They're going to tell you you're doing shitty booking. They're going to pull you aside and tell you that you're not living your life the right way. They're not going to sit there and continue to push the bad habits and everything.
But they kind of still ask why, though. They ask why isn't it happening for me? Nobody's coming to get you, and this is anybody anywhere in life. You want to be something, nobody's coming to fucking get you. Did I come and find you, say, Colin, will you join us? We really fucking need you. No. You took initiative. You were a loyal subscriber. You fucking were there. You put in your time. You put in years following what we've been doing.
So you mean all those phone calls on Fun Friday back in the WrestleZone days didn't put me over with you?
Actually, that buried you more. I might take you off the air for that now. Remember that.
Come on, WZ Pig and I were putting together some great stuff. Like I
hated that shit. Yeah. But now you've gotten to a level where, all right, let's elevate and give a shot. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be like you waiting going, wow, I'm not going to go out because Hamin's going to call me and ask me to be on the platform. Come the fuck on, dude. So, that there's those guys, and Josh definitely gets it, because Josh from 2CW, his whole MO was to fuck the industry over, which I love, where WWE would be making mistakes, or they would be not seeing a guy that they should sign, or he's about to get signed, and we can do dream booking with somebody, like two ships passing in the night, like RVD and Sammy Callahan which they'll claim they did first at Impact. They did not. It happened at 2CW, sold it out on a Monday night in a bingo hall, 750. It's fucking crazy. And, and it's things like that that are a sharp stick in the eye, along with like ROH trying to put on pay-per-views and failing epically 5 times in a row. And Josh and me and Steve going, okay, let's get a local company and we'll get a dedicated T1 line run. And we're going to do it 2 nights in a row from 2 different locations. And we're going to give it for free. It's going to be the first free for view. And we're going to say, fuck you to Ring of Honor, because we're going to use their guys, Kevin Steen, Alex Shelley, and we're going to use them better than you do because you're fucking stupid. And we're going to give it away and we're going to show it and it's going to look better. And people are like, what the fuck is 2CW? 100,000 live views. Free. Did it crash one time? Nope. Ring of Honor's got Sinclair behind them. The huge media corporation can't pull their fucking head out of their ass 5 times in a row.
Well, and they helped put All In together, and look at what happened. All their talent got taken away, and now ROH went from maybe a 2, number 3. They're probably not even top 5 now.
Last place, bro.
Yeah, I mean, NWA's come on the scene. Like, they even ruined the business with NWA. They had all that going with that, and that's all gone.
Tell you what me and Magnus talked about. There's no way I can say that shit on the air.
Oh no, and hey, look, I feel like I can. I'm going to ask you some tough questions here. I mean, like what? with the who would you see as somebody that would run WWE in the right direction? But let's get back onto this SmackDown kick here. So we had Heavy Machinery up next.
Me, Stevie, Russo, Josh, and Steve King, and Man Beast and Adam Revolver. Those are the only people I would put my fucking trust in.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, hey, I listen to the Wednesday Locker Room religiously, and I love all this stuff. Steve's probably one of my favorites. I enjoy, like, I was driving 3 hours back from Charlotte yesterday, and I enjoy it. I had the phone on the dash with the video playing of you guys doing the shoot kayfabe transmission of the Locker Room. Just had the earphones in just so I can listen to you guys. So yeah,
I always love talking, with Steve, because Steve's the kind of guy you need too when you're in the office, who is a worker. So workers aren't going to work him, and he's already had a full career. And then he will turn around and heat on guys and tell them to shut the fuck up if they're big league and with the clipboard. So the guy who's the top guy, Josh, can do the 40 other things he's got to, where Steve can then go to me. I'll agent the shitty 6 man, or I'll actually give it to Super Beast, because guy I worked with, who's a Buffalo legend, real big guy, Super Beast, Eric Mohammed Timmons, EMT. He's a great mind too, and there's no reason he shouldn't be given a little piece. And like, that's how you dictate, man. That's how I learned how to be like, all right, I'm going to have you guys do this, and now Schaffer will be taking care of that. Like, and guys feel like they own a piece, and I'll go out there and do what they want to. If there's something fucked up, I'd be like, nah, let's change this a little bit. But he always had great ideas. And then I'll go agent 1 or 2 other things, so Steve doesn't have to worry about that, and he can go do the other 4. So that's the kind of teamwork you really need. And you and I talked improv about that, but improv's one thing when you're all playing together, but you got to have 4 or 5 guys ready to go. And then Jack Trades, who I had feuds with, was the backbone, the grandfather of 2CW. That's your ring crew. That's your fucking setup, your load in. And he's got 5 or 6 guys underneath them who just want to get a spot on the undercard opening match, who are going to be doing that for a year. Dude, I unloaded the ring at OVW for a year and a half, or for all 3 years, but fucking before I ever even stepped in the ring on a show for a year and a half, and at the other end of the board could be Vladimir Kozlov, could be fucking Damian Sandow. That's just the dues you fucking pay, man. So,
well, speaking of improv, I'm paying my dues by setting the seats up, popping the popcorn, working the concession area. I mean, it's very, like, I hear you and Stevie talk about like Stevie, especially in his time in the WWE with shitty management and that type of stuff. And I look at my own career, my job, and I'm just like, God, it's like, does Vince run where I work too? Like, this is, I just see all the bad decisions and the people that are the favorites and stuff get moved up. And I'm like, me and Stevie share a similar path in our work jobs. But we had Heavy Machinery up next here. They come down to the ring, and you and I kind of, before I got to this segment, I mentioned something to you like this would be such a waste if they came to Manchester, England, and didn't have any kind of NXT run in, and we got Imperium, the only NXT run in that we got besides later on this evening. Imperium comes in, they beat the hell out of Heavy Machinery, and only the face members of SmackDown kind of come out to save Heavy Machinery as Imperium escapes through the crowd. And as you said, no one chased anything. We, with all the 24/7 title chases we've had, with last week when they chased them out,
What
nobody chased Imperium through the crowd. Do you think that they were afraid that if they did chase Imperium through the crowd, that the UK fans were going to try to protect Imperium? I mean, that's their hometown boys.
Don't have them run back out through the crowd then. Have
Mm-hmm.
them come in through the crowd, chase them up the ramp and out. And then you follow it into one of those back scenes things where the fight's going on, fans, we got to go to commercial, boom, right? Then you can come back. They're in another part, and then the match continues in the ring. They cut back. Oh, they're out in the food court fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
this shit is so easy, but instead, Imperium runs in, Imperium runs out through the crowd, and the magic force field keeps the SmackDown guys in the ring. We can fight you, but no way could we chase you back out. Stupid, phony, dumb as fuck. Everybody looks dumb. Thank you. We're rotten. Next segment.
No, I like what you said there about them kind of, dropping little bits throughout the show, because I feel like the last time they've ever done something like that was the Roddy Piper Goldust street fight, where it started the show. You saw them fighting out in the back lot, and then throughout the show they were just cut to those guys just beating each other up until it actually finally got to the ring where they did the business and everything. I mean,
Sure.
that right there is something that they don't do enough. And
If this is a war, like, let it be real. Let them all get arrested at the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make it seem real. So even your war is phony as shit already out of the gate. So we already know it. So nobody's invested. These are small things. Those 4 15-second clips. That's 1 minute worth of work to tie in a show. Is that too much to ask? Is it really?
No, it's not. You're right about this, Ben. That's why we're here sitting under your learning tree tonight. Next, we had Sasha and Bailey being interviewed by Kayla Braxton. Bailey basically was gloating over her win with Nikki Cross from the prior week. Sasha basically said the current NXT women will live in their shadows as they are the women that put the NXT women's division on the map. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, but they haven't really done as much on the main roster for the women. And I think that some of these women that are coming up, like a Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, now that she's starting to get more with the wrestling, which being in the MMA community, I've known about Shayna for a long time. She's trained with a guy like Josh Barnett, who is always a catch. I mean, he was known as a catch wrestler in his MMA days. So she kind of has always that wrestling background to go with her. I think these girls that they're bringing up now will be even better than the Sasha and Baileys that we had in the past.
Better than Sasha and Bailey? Really?
Oh, how dare I say that? I can't believe I just
better
said
than
that.
Sasha and Bailey? Boy, oh boy.
Did you ever think that they would get better than like Sable and Trish Stratus and those ladies back in the day?
Yeah. Well, dude, don't hate Trish Stratus. The Molly Holly, bad as fuck. Victoria, I came up with Serena, Beth Phoenix, ODB. Like, you can't trip on any of them, dude. Beth Phoenix and Serena, I'll say all three of them. All three of those girls can out wrestle me, and I'm not being like they can beat me. When it comes to like whose shit is tighter and who looks real and whose timing's better, all three of those girls are better than me. I'm better than Bailey, Sasha, and whatever other Bukiak you just named. Shayna Baszler's good. Like, fucking, like, I'm not taking anything away from her MMA career, but you want to see how quick Shayna Baszler's marginalized on the main roster. Who's Adam Cole? Who's Adam Cole on the main roster? If it's Vince looking at him, yeah, I already said it, he's little Triple H.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
who's she? Look at her. Who's she look like?
Well, I mean, even Shayna, she'll get lumped in with Ronda Rousey, and she'll kind of be in that Rousey shadow.
Nope. Who is she?
Oh, she looks like little Bailey, basically.
Not Bailey. China.
China. Oh, yeah, that is
When
true, yeah.
Vince doesn't think Bailey or anything like that, Vince is stuck in an era, dude. He doesn't know. He's like, yeah, little Triple H, little China. Yeah, we'll get them together. All right.
Oh,
Like
God,
it's
Adam
coming,
Cole in
dude. You think like you said before, Hamin saw this. That's exactly the level he's thinking on. It's not
it.
Shayna Baszler was in UFC and she's a bad motherfucker. Her versus, what's her nuts from UFC will be great. And then we can mix in Becky to get her the shine on that, but we'll get Shayna over on all three of them and build somebody. Nope. None of that's going through his mind. None of that.
That's yeah. Well, I'm trying to think how I was gonna to
See how
phrase
quick
this.
I'm not trying to be like, see how quick I did, but see how quick my synapse, like how we're like, here's our players. Who do we want to elevate? Shayna Baszler. We need to bring back Ronda Rousey, who's got a lot of heat, but she's got credibility. Becky Lynch, she got her shine. She's fake, phony fucking wrestling, but we need her in there for that because wrestling needs to get over. But Shayna Baszler, we need to introduce and make look strong. Bing, bang, boom. You do this one, move this. Is the ball under this cup? Nope, it's under this one over here. Move it here. And then you have it. There's always 100 ways to do it, but they're not even thinking that. You go, ooh, little Triple H, little China. Yeah, DX2. Let's do it. Like,
I love that I'm getting Master Shoot Theater for free tonight. I don't have to put up the Patreon for this. I'm enjoying this. So next we got the Nakamura Cesaro versus Ali and Shorty G. Graves, of course, I said earlier, calls Gable a snitch. Brian comes out to watch the match from the top of the ramp. We got Shorty G and Nakamura start the match. After a while, Shorty G hits Nakamura with a belly suplex over the top rope. Before I continue with the match,
that was dope, man. That was dope. Yeah. It was safe. It was really safe. I was like, oh, fuck, because I was like, as a shit can, that would have been a dope bump. But I was like, but he didn't shit can. He plexed him. But he got all the way over cartwheel, so he just landed on his feet, but it looked fucking badass, didn't it?
Yeah, I kind of had that in there. I wanted your opinion on that move because that was pretty sweet. Ali was
good athleticism by both of them. That was what stuck out in the match most to me. And I favored your one question earlier on Sami Zayn. I do like him with Nakamura. Cesaro doesn't need him at all. He should be gone. Sammy is good as a mouthpiece, but I'm just a big mark, even though I rib about it. I'm a big mark for broken English, bad accent, Japanese promos. So I'm getting robbed when, hear rah, 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 rah shit. Like,
my favorite thing is my Japanese teacher. He was a big fan of MC5, and he told us that the MC5, they like to say motherfucker, motherfucker, motherfucker. I mean,
like that shit to me, I love that kind of stuff. So, I mean, Sammy's doing a good job. I like his kind of half shoots on the marks. If you wanted somebody to go at AEW, that's a guy who could fucking slang some mud that they couldn't come back at him and be like, you're old, you're corporate, you're whatever, right? Because
he was more over than a lot of them as El Generico out there on the indies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hate that we never got El Generico in the WWE, but they would totally misuse El Generico.
My past.
So we got Ali G with some high flying maneuvers. He gets caught and gets a backbreaker from Cesaro for his efforts. Shorty G comes in, applies the ankle lock to Cesaro, but he gets kicked to the outside. Nakamura hits Ali with a reverse exploder, sets up for the Kinshasa. We get Ali hits him with a super kick. He goes up for the finish, but Zayn provides a little bit of distraction long enough for Cesaro to interfere, allowing Nakamura to get the Kinshasa for the win. Your overall thoughts of this match?
Good rhythm. I liked it. Throw together, but like, this just feels like a filler house show match to me. No real stakes.
Well, and I think the real storyline is what Daniel Bryan's going to do with Nakamura. I think would it have been better if Bryan was on commentary maybe for this, or
what's Daniel Bryan doing now later in the show?
Oh, well, that is true. Yes, we do see
So
him get.
whatever's happened before that, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's done. New business is Fiend. So like that's whatever. This was just your indie feed the marks match. And the main thing for me I saw here was like, is the entire Shorty G gimmick based around the fact that they had a warehouse full of Enzo Amore G basketball. They ordered a shit ton. They thought they were going to sell a ton of them. And then all the heat came down and it didn't have all the Enzo, or maybe they had them ordered, just had the G on there. And they did the whole Shorty G thing because they didn't want to get stuck with 100,000 fucking.
So as a mark for wrestling merchandise, I did buy those first few WWE Wrestle crates that came out.
Yeah.
And a good bit of the merchandise that came in those was the merchandise for Big Cass. And I got like I got a lunch bag that has like a G on it. I got like a little square like heating cooling pad thing that has like how you doing on it. I mean they made so much merch for these guys. I mean they have a warehouse full of merch for them that they have to just get rid of.
Is my conspiracy that far off that they get 100,000 G things? And what are we gonna do?
And it's their colors exactly too. That blue and yellow was there is like all their merchandise that came out that is in those crates is that blue and yellow with like the cheetah. All they did was change the G from a cheetah pattern to just a straight yellow G.
That was just a dart I threw, but dude, now you may have reinforced it a little bit more. We'll talk more about that on Russo brand, you guys, this week.
So I when I was going through watching on watchwrestling.uno, I missed this Banks Nikki Cross match. So I kind of went back and watched this on fast forward. It looked like Sasha basically just took a lead.
You motherfucker.
So the Bailey, let's see. Nikki's starting to make her comeback. She goes on the outside, attacks Bailey. She screams something into the headset that nobody really understands because she's just too excited. Her accent took over. After another few minutes of back and forth action, Banks taps Cross with the Banks statement. After the match, Bailey lays a beat down on Cross, and as she's beating Cross down, Shayna Baszler comes from the outside in to kind of establish her dominance over Bailey in this segment. Again, your thoughts on this match? How did you feel like the run-in went? Did you like? Is this another house show match in your opinion? Just no real business except for the payoff there with Shayna attacking Bailey at the end.
Well, Shayna shouldn't attack Bailey. That was too much business. I mean, even though they're going towards the pay-per-view, I don't think. I mean, Shayna's on the road, so use her. I get it, but I would have used her afterwards in one of these backstage segments because if they weren't going to do the runarounds, I just say here's the opportunity. Because it's Sasha getting cleared and coming back with the new remix, Legit Boss remix, which nobody popped for at all. Like in the crowd, they're like, oh, okay. Yep. So she walks down trying to be hip hop and boss bitch or whatever. And there's no, instead of hip hop, she's no pop, whatever. And, here comes a get over match, which it should be because she's back. Nikki can work, but dude, here we have just NXT 101 of creator wrestling. Like the match is so cooked. And this is where I was like, man, is this just me seeing it or do fans watch shit this way? It's so cookie cutter, paint by numbers, step by step, false finish, kick out, grab my head. Oh my God, look at the camera, grab a hold. Come on, everybody, clap, fire up. She fires up. Big clothesline, shut her down. Like it's the exact fucking same match, which is fine if you're teaching that in practice to get people ready. But dude, and like I said, maybe fans look at it differently and I'm a worker. It's just brutal to me. And at the end of the day, this was Sasha's time to be up with heel heat and get over there, right? And be posed with Bailey,
her first match back since Hell in a Cell.
So to Big Dogger is either them being like, yeah, she's back, okay, but she's not going to get over. So let's kill any heat she has or get over right here by having what's her name, Baszler big leaguer. So there's no get over in the get over match. In a get over match, you need to win, be up strong, and make your exit. Now in the back, that's when she could have got duked, or they could have been heels at the top, turned around, and then fucking duked her there. You know what I mean? But in ring, that's like, we're in here. What the fuck are you gonna do? You just got bitched out by doing that.
Now I'll give you a little bit of hope that the fans kind of watch these matches a little bit differently. I took the Fiend with me to AEW, and as we were sitting there, she watched the first couple matches, and she kind of leans in, and she was like, "Are all of these matches gonna have like a kick out, like all these false?" Like she didn't call them false finishes, but she was
Yeah.
asking me about that. She's like, "Why don't they just have a match where the guy pins him once and he gets the 1, 2, 3?" And then literally the next match was Shawn Spears versus Brandon Cutler, and Shawn Spears comes out and gets the pin 1, 2, 3. No false finishes,
No
no
falsies.
none of that stuff.
Spears
So
is
so
smart. Spears is smart, dude. He's OVW 101. And that now Spears is a guy who was in OVW from the beginning, was a yes man through NXT, stayed small, had job the whole time, can put anybody over, finally takes a chance, gets himself over. Best friends with Cody, really, too. And it still isn't enough. The 10 thing gets over, the crowd wants it. What happens? Oh, Vince didn't make it, so it's not getting over. Shelve that. I don't get it. I don't get this 10 thing. The fuck you don't get it. You get it exactly. Could have been huge, right? And so when he knows that everybody's an indie goof in AEW who's going to do 48 falsies and 13 dives in their match, what's he going to do? Opposite.
so so that's I hate to kind of dwell on AEW because we are doing the SmackDown show, but it's you're here. We're just going to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think the boss will get pissed if we talk about
No, yeah. Oh gosh, I'm afraid of what the boss is going to do because we're taking it off the rails tonight.
Right.
I might have to do 100 Hindu squats before we leave here. Um, my brother, he got me into watching wrestling. He's been on the message board since the mid '90s, doing the Death Valley Driver review stuff. I mean, he was one of those guys back in the day during the Monday Night Wars that was like, I swear to God, I wrote that in a message board. Now I'm watching it on TV.
Yeah, he and
He
I
was
probably interacted a few times then.
he was talking about Pac being probably the most polished superstar that AEW has, and he kind of commented to that being the stuff that he did at NXT. And he's not the only one that I've heard say this. Just with how his mannerisms, the way he plays to the camera, just the business and how he treats his character. Do you feel that same way? I mean, I know Jericho's the GOAT. Don't like we're just take Jericho out of this equation. We know he knows how to do good business. But in all those guys in AEW, do you feel like Pac is probably one of the most polished superstars that AEW has because of his time in NXT and being there on WWE?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I can't take anything away from his performance of what he does. I like that he's kind of like a heel Conor McGregor now. I think that's the spot for him to be in, not some dark, brooding character. Just let him be a pissed off, disgruntled, badass Chris Benoit. He's your Chris Benoit of the modern era.
I like that. Yeah, I like
exactly
that
what he is. So, whatever the name besmirched wise, Benoit was a fucking annihilator. You knew you were going to get a sick match, right? That's all he should focus on. And Spears should focus on his way he's doing it and go out there. But I'll tell you what, I think Trent stole it, even though the finish was fucked up bad on this. Trent stole this match. I think he outshined Pac. And maybe because I just worked a show with him where he wrestled Colin Delaney and we had some good conversation. I'm a bit of a mark for him more than I was before, but I came up with his old partner, Kalen Croft. I can't remember what he was. Chris Cage in OVW. Awesome dude, awesome wrestler, good talent. So I know his mindset's the same way. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to usually get one guy in the team, the other guy's the opposite. Sometimes you do, absolutely. But people would say that all day about fucking the Dudley Boys. But anyway, the fact that he just looked bigger and he's in shape, and I thought his stuff looked as smooth. I thought Trent Beretta got over more than Pac did in that match.
Now, I will say, being there in person, Trent got a nice reception from the crowd when Chucky T came out behind him. Same kind of reception, but then once the OC Orange Cassidy walked out behind him, the crowd popped
Yeah, that
huge.
was
He even got a nice loud pop from the crowd when he went in there, did his spot with Pac. Now, I will say
ruined
this
it. Ruined the
for
match.
someone who they don't like his work, they don't like a lot of what he does. He was on the outside of that ring selling the shit out of that kick that he took from Pac. I mean, the rest of the match, he laid down on the outside, rolling around, grabbing his face. I mean, he like, you don't see him sell, and that's one of the things that people shit on him for. And again, that was kind of a house show gimmick because they're not going to put that over on TV. But he like was outside just in writhing in pain for the pretty much the rest of the match.
I sure as fuck
After
hope
that
so.
spot.
That to earn your paycheck, all you got to do is go do 4 slow motion shin kicks, take one phony shot, and lay on the outside, and like your face is fucking hurt. Hey, here's $1,300. Okay, okay, sure it is. You want to go hang out with the $1 million boss and let him wear your extra gear? Sure, why the fuck not? Let's do it.
Now, I've been saying from day one at AEW that Tony Khan was gonna come in as an on-screen figure at some point in time. I feel like they're gonna bring that out. They're gonna have him as an authority figure.
Welcome to
They have to.
all money marks in wrestling who get into wrestling to book themselves on the show and over as champion.
Well, according to Cody, if he doesn't lose, he's not gonna go after the belt anymore. So the office
He's not the money
not.
mark. He's not the
Yeah,
money mark.
that's true. So we go backstage to get back to the SmackDown stuff. We go backstage. Daniel Bryan is back there with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's still trying to push to get this answer from Daniel Bryan. The lights flicker once. They kind of look around confused, and then we get the lights go out, and the Fiend proceeds to attack Daniel Bryan. Now, I laughed incredibly hard with how Sami Zayn was just like, "Oh, it's my time to leave." Like, the way he exited the
Hey,
scene was
got out.
hilarious.
That was good. Yeah. I didn't mind that little skedaddle and whatever. And then the maniacal Joker laugh. He does really well. You can actually see his facial expressions through the mask a bit. I was impressed with that because that's the toughest thing. You wear a mask, you're losing all facial expressions most of the time. I can still get it. And it was a good start to new business. That's why the old business that was in 2 segments before confused me.
Now, where do you think they're going with this? Because they seem like they were pushing hard for this Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan for the IC title, and then now it's like out of nowhere, the Fiend and Daniel Bryan are coming at each other. I kind of felt like it was going to be Roman Reigns versus the Fiend next.
Why is the champion going at guys too?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem with putting a belt on them. You've heard me say this: belts are for guys who can't get over with character. Does Bray Wyatt need a belt?
No. The Fiend does not need a belt. No, not at all.
It's all about who's attacking and about to murder. And like, they put the belt on him because the dudes at Fox are marks. They saw the highest rated segments were his. So they demanded put the belt on him. They fucked up the Hell in the Cell finish. And then they put the belt on him in Saudi Arabia where nobody gives a flying fuck about the Fiend. And they would actually probably hang him as a wizard, a magic doer, which they killed people when they executed 37 in one weekend, gays, whatever it was, protesters and magicians, witches. So kill them, So they fucking did the business there, and nobody really cares. Just to band-aid on a broken leg, the guy don't need a belt. So again, we're way down the wrong road completely from where we need to be on. What's the end game? No good payoff. Why would a champion go after people?
I mean, you never saw like Stone Cold doing it. You never saw. I mean, that's
stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
they're stupid.
I have to agree with you there. So it is getting a little late here, Ben. We're at about 12:30 right now. I do want to touch on this Tyson Fury promo that we had. So Fury comes out. He says he's been going to people's backyards to fight.
I am out. Fury comes out in a goddamn white t-shirt. The T-shirt probably costs $200. It's probably some asshole cotton made from lamb pubes or something. Who knows, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're on TV. You're a champion. Don't wear. It looked like he forgot to put his shirt on, and that was his undershirt, and he went out there. Looked like a total scumbag, dude. I was
Yeah,
like,
the pink pants definitely were like really like you
stupid
yeah.
looking, dude. Like, again, where is quality control? I don't care if he's Tyson Fury and he's over and it's his hometown. Look like a star. This is the thing, Colin. In OVW, we're taught that TV time is so precious. You got to get over in your time, do your business, because that's it. And when I say you see this house show shit, that means you don't give a shit about TV time. When somebody walks out in a white T-shirt and it's your big thing, and you want to get signed with the WWE, that says to me you don't give a shit what the world. You're not smart enough to say what's the world seeing me as. Not just this little house where everyone knows me and they're going to be a false positive that I'm over, like it's NXT. There's this whole generation or of the office and the workers just don't give a shit. And there's no fear of reprisal. There's no fear that you can get in the ring with Tyson Fury and say, get these hands, and then go back on your Instagram and dress like a cat in a thong doing shots with a naughty nurse, with a guy who's not even on TV, who should be the next John Cena. And they wonder why they're not champions. And there's no heat that comes down. There's no fine that says, we've invested how many millions of dollars into you, and this is what you're going to do because you think you're over and that our investment doesn't matter in you and your private Instagram matters because you have rights. Dude, bye. Have a good one. Have fun on your next career. Good. When you want to come back and do a WrestleMania match versus Batista after you become a big movie star, we'd love to have you back. But I can't have this shit on my show ruining my creative because you don't give a flying fuck. Because guess what? I don't give a flying fuck about you then. I don't care about writing for you, protecting your shit, because I can't trust you that you're not going to protect my shit and the investment we made in you. So wear all the white shirts you want, buddy.
There was somebody that I had in my head that has been doing really good business with their promos and stuff, and I can't think of it right now. But this Fury promo, he comes out and he said that he's been going to people's backyards. Klitschko in Germany. Klitschko's not even from Germany. Deontay Wilder in America, that's the only one that he got right. And then Braun Strowman in Saudi Arabia. I didn't know Braun Strowman was Saudi Arabian. That right there, I mean, if you're keen to that stuff, you would right there know that that's just kind of a bullshit line that he's saying right there. You get Strowman that interrupts, and then they do the handshake Ring of Honor segment. He offers, hey, next time let's do this as a tag team. Strowman adds, yeah, oh, there's no one stupid enough. Like, this is set up on a silver platter for something to have happened, and then we get the B team that comes out. I did like that the B team.
B team stole the show tonight.
B stands for fearless.
Now, first he's like, we're stupid enough to fight you morons. Yeah. Perfect. And like, when I say play to the height of your intelligence, right? You've heard me say that to you before about improv, and I'm sure you've heard that from other coaches. They are playing to the height of their intelligence because they are fools.
Mm-hmm.
A fool would say something ridiculously funny and believe it to be true that he got the slam. He did. Then the other guy says yes and to the game, says, you idiot. Like, you don't even know what you're saying. Everyone knows the B and B team stands for fearless. And everyone's like, and he believes it. So it's so Three Stooges. It's so perfect. No more needs to be said. They take a little bump and a power slam and a shitty punch. Pay me, bro. And they stole the show in 1 minute and 15 seconds.
And I guarantee you they're getting paid more for that little bit of work that they did than Orange Cassidy's getting paid for his get kicked in the face and sell on the outside of the ring for a whole
100%,
match.
100%.
Yeah, that, I mean, so I just was more so kind of crapping on Fury's promo there. It
was the shits.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match at Crown Jewel for what it was. But I don't know. I feel like Strowman probably wasn't the right choice to do the Fury, kind of have that Fury Strowman feud there. Do you think they'll bring Fury back in for another event? You think we'll see Fury in the ring again at
Well,
some
I
point in
saw
time down the road?
his whole thing is he dreamed of being in WWE, but dude, you can't give a guy a mic, even if you got him scripted to the hilt like that, because he's not a promo guy. He's a boxer. He's a pro dude. It takes a lot of time, unless you're a natural gifted right out of the gate, to develop acting skills and promo skills. It's like every other muscle that there is, man. You're not just going to wake up with giant biceps one day. You got to work your ass off at it. So, you know, the fact that they expect him to carry water on the entertainment side, you're going to get a kindergarten level promo. He's got a masterclass knockout punch if he hits it for real on you, but on the mic, you know, you're not going to. So you need somebody as a mouthpiece. I didn't mind what he did. I liked the handshake. I thought the babyface thing was all right. And then the B team comedy, because Braun's marginalized, because they would want him to be champion, but because of all these dumbass things, Superman or Superwoman, Wonder Woman costumes on Halloween and shit, we just had to post this. This
Hanging
one's
out
got
with Nurse C3.
This one's got to go on IG. Like, come on, dude. And you wonder why. You wonder why you're not world champ. You wonder why you're not getting re-signed for $6 million a year, like some people.
Now, okay, so there was a third person in that video that you spoke about that day. If you were Marty Scurll, and apparently his contract is up with Ring of Honor, like I think his last appearance was the last show that they had. Would you go to AEW to be with your friends, or would you go to show like I spoke to Bello about this a couple weeks ago on NXT UK, or would you go to NXT UK where you would be that pretty much that big fish right there on that show coming?
Yeah.
You'd be in the UK. You'd have the WWE backing behind you, or I mean, so where do you think, like, if you put yourself in Marty Scurll's shoes, put the plague mask on, do all of that, where would you go?
And he gets to live in NXT, and he gets to live in UK at home with his family and friends and shit. Definitely NXT UK. The money's better, and he doesn't have any of the stress. All of his friends that was fun to be the Outlaws with in Japan and all that shit, all those guys got a lot of jobs now, bro. Like, wrestling is the last thing, like one of the last things Cody or the Bucks or Omega have to worry about. And Scurll would be coming in and probably have to pick up that and be put in some stress. And yeah, he'd like to be with his boys. I get it. But it's not just going to be doing karaoke and fun times on the road going to Japan anymore. You know, there'll be great memories made and they'll feel bigger successes together, sure. But if you are in this business, it's tough. The door would be open to him both ways. If he went to NXT and did 2 years, didn't like it, and left, he could easily show up in AEW if AEW is still a thing. If AEW, if he went to AEW right now and Vince ends up putting them out of business, they'd probably be bought out and jump to WWE and be marginalized as whatever anyway. But right now, if it was me, where I am in my career, and I was him, I would go to NXT WWE, because you just got to go out and work your 12 minutes. You're already over. You're going to be over as fuck. You get to work the main events out of the gate. You're, you know, in your original house and shit. You're not living in hotel rooms all the time, and you know, you get to fly out and do all the cool WWE shit. And then if anybody's going to do the crossover shit where it's firing shots back and forth and it means something, it's the OC, Finn Balor, and Marty Scurll talking shit to those guys. Like, now we have credibility in a war. You know what I mean? And AJ Styles too.
So back to the shenanigans of the WWE. We kind of already touched on Roman and Corbin Reigns, so we won't go into that match. But the last match that we're going to talk about here tonight is the Carmella Dana Brooke versus Fire and Desire match.
Holy shit.
Winner gets a spot on Sasha Banks' Survivor team. Sonya and Carmella start the match. Mella puts someone in the Mella go round. Of course, Graves sells this. Do you think Mella puts Graves in the Mella go round when they're having quiet time back at the hotel room?
I mean, might as well get as wild with it as you can at this point, really.
I did have one kind of thing about this. Sonya was doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu to Carmella and took her back. and as a jujitsu guy, she crossed her legs as she was taking her back. And as a white belt, you learn never cross your legs because that's a way for somebody to grab the ankle and get a submission on you that way. So a little bit of sloppiness there on
You
her
mean when
part.
she's on her back, not to lace her legs in a figure
Yeah,
four
yeah.
body?
You don't like if you don't cross your legs like that because then the person can
Oh,
do like an ankle submission that way. Now, if she did like the triangle,
yeah. I
that's
thought
a
you were
that's a
talking about.
different thing.
I thought you were talking about a figure four body locker on the waist, but yeah,
Yeah,
no.
no, not a body triangle. She just kind of wrapped her ankles around. Then Dana Brooke showing a lot of athleticism. Do you like this new body style of Dana Brooke? She lost a little bit of weight. She's being a little bit more of a gymnastic. Like, I mean, you're seeing a lot more from Dana Brooke
Well, that was
here
her
in the
whole thing
ring.
was gymnastics and those fitness competitions where chicks do crazy one arm, one finger push-ups, right? And all that shit. So Dana Brooke's been off TV for a while and she was just way too fast, way too excited and doing things in the wrong spot. That senton was super unsafe. She
Yeah.
way over rotated and set like came down with her ass on her instead of just like brushing her with the back of her shoulders like you should. So if you can't do something like that 10 out of 10 times the right way, then you shouldn't be doing that shit. I don't care how athletic you are, because chances are you're going to hurt yourself. Like it'd be worse you hurt somebody else, but you're definitely going to hurt yourself. Because then she gets her shit like, cut off. And then she does the flip from the apron to the floor, lands on her feet to hit the chick into the steps. And then she does like her beauty pose on the outside where no one can see her. The camera can, but nobody in the crowd can see her. So she doesn't know like where to play to the camera to do things like that. So again, here's an NXT chick who's hot as hell, who's wicked athletic, who still doesn't really get it and won't because she's not in front of the camera, working for the camera all the time. And she does all those bullshit promos. Now's my time. I'm hungry. I want it more than anyone. Yeah, she'd put it in the body work time and all that kind of shit. She might be working her ass off in the ring and politicking or, doing more than that on the side. Who knows, pal? Yeah, come see me in the office. Yeah, gimmicks look awesome, and she's sexy. But again, it's NXT cookie cutter 1-2 kick out. No, come on, ref. Slap the mat, get up, pick her up, fire up, whack, whack, whack. Like, dude, I can call the match blind because it's KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. And and that's the stupid part, unfortunately. Those girls, are they really watching old Jake Roberts? Are they watching Mid-South? Are they watching shit going, forget what the girls and everybody else are doing. Let me watch some, some old Tully and Arn and take from that and get my shit real tight like that instead of watch me do a front handspring round off everybody's just so I can do a drop kick. Fuck that. Like, make yourself different, dude. That's why I could watch Serena, ODB, and Beth Phoenix wrestle all day long because they wrestle like men and they do it very, very well. They're the only. Gail Kim's another one. Wera Loca, Tessa.
Yeah, I got first involved with Taya from Lucha Underground, and she was by far she was probably one of the best female worker that they had on Lucha Underground.
I mean, I'd say Shayna and Charlotte. Aside from that, everybody else, in my opinion, is pretty goddamn rotten on every show.
Riho's not on your list?
Yeah.
So Dana, like you said, Dana Brooke with that terrible senton gets the pin on Sonya Deville. I understand why they had Carmella and Dana Brooke go over with the beatdown that they received last week. It would be fitting that they would be on the Survivor Series team with Sasha Banks, but you have a heel captain. Don't you think that she would more so put together a heel team? That's I didn't quite get that Fire and Desire wasn't the team that went over there with Sasha Banks being the heel that
Do
she
they have
is.
enough heels? Do they have enough heels? Sasha, Bailey, who else?
Fire and Desire. We haven't seen Ruby Riott and those girls in a while.
Yeah. Liv Morgan could have been in there. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think
they're
Go ahead. I was going to say their women's roster is kind of shallow right now.
shits. They could have this could be one of those segments where they're like, who's left? The best of who's left match. I've been in a couple of those, and that's just how it is, man. You fill in. But here we are again. That's fine to do that. And everyone, if you're in WWE, should be able to go out there and goddamn wrestle. But even mediocrely. But this is why I say this is a house show on TV again. You know, sure it's doing some business or whatever, but like, for what? For something we're not even into, that we even know really what's going on. This team's doing that. Okay. What stakes were there in any of this show? What really got forwarded? The only two things I took away was the comedic lines of the B team and the new business with Daniel Bryan and the Fiend. Everything else is forgettable, and house show rotten to be on TV is unbelievable. That to me, that's really where it feels like this is Bruce Pritchard 100%, because it feels like Southern booking. Feels like old Tennessee dumb shit that's like, wah, wah. It doesn't have any teeth. It's so out of touch with what's cool. And like, go pick up your little dog poop promos, and we're going to take his logo and make it bark like a chihuahua. Oh, that's going to bring him in. That's going to hook people for the whole 2 hours. What a brilliant setup.
I think WWE needs to back the truck up to a guy like Killer Cross and bring him in as someone who will say no to creative and who will go out there.
He won't say no to creative. He's too smart.
No? Oh.
No, dude. He's not. He's over in the Mark's minds. He's awesome. He's the best thing in the business. He is the best guy in wrestling in 2019, bar none. Character-wise, look-wise, the way he works, he should be in the movies. He's better than wrestling, right? That's why everyone loves him. What's going to happen if they send him to fucking WWE? He could be the next Cesaro in a heartbeat. Yeah. They had gold with the goddamn Broken Universe. What'd they do? Rock and roll fucking Jeff at Mania. Fuck yeah, guys. Remember, it's 1996. You're fucking morons. And all the yes men who don't stop and say and give upper management a $5 face slap of reality and truth are all complicit and should not have jobs either. And if Matt Hardy's not going to say, no, Vince, this is what's over, what hope does Killer Cross have, dude?
Yeah, that's true.
Killer Cross can't even get the money from Impact that he's owed.
It sucks that guys like, I mean, you hear Austin all the time would tell those guys no. I mean, you even hear the stories from other guys saying that they would be in there and Vince would come up with something. Austin be like, yeah, no, that's not about to happen.
Killer Cross needs to jump right past NXT. He would need to show up on Raw. He would need to fuck up somebody high level and call out Brock Lesnar. And the next week, him and Brock face off. There's no build. Like, that's the only way I would really accept, like, you to get him over as a high stakes character right away. If you were really going to play to the streets, I mean, and like know what the indies are doing. If Killer Cross showed up on Raw out of nowhere with no fucking nobody knowing, people would lose. That's some shit where Twitter would go nuts, right?
Yeah, but you know that's not going to happen nowadays.
I bet you would have 3 million people on Raw as opposed to 2.1. I bet Cross could draw 500,000 to 750,000 people just showing up out of nowhere to pipe bomb.
Hey, so that right there is the Smack Attack for the evening, the 11/9/2019 version of it's 11/9/2019.
11/11919. Yes.
Oh yes.
Ones.
Well, that, you know what? This is a great segue to I was gonna have you read copy tonight because I know what Hamin's kryptonite is, and that's copy. But I will go into the Smack Attack mail sack tonight. We've just got 2 emails, which is good.
Let's wrap it up quick because I got to produce this show and then I got to be up in 4 hours to go hunting.
We'll go with just Greg Miron's email tonight because it kind of taps into something that you wanted to talk to tonight.
Sure.
Sup, Smack Attackers. I hope you survived this week's SmackDown. I wish I could, but some classic conspiracy horsemen, Infinite Fringe, Crow 777, and other podcasts are keeping me up through some hard times. Anyways, before I head to the topic, some shout outs. The hacker Hamizi. Once again, great job on you and your Horseman Brothers interview, John McAfee. I can't wait what the future holds for you guys. Also, I hope your venison invasion is going well because hunting Hamin is nothing to fuck with.
No.
To Khalil Wyson, I forgot to mention your Billy Shears accent was over with me. I would watch out, though, the deep state can grab you and force you into singing an album for Vinny Rue. And to the MIA Big Ray, get well soon, bro. Don't let Big Pharma tell something different. You will put together, you will pull through and get stronger. I once again got to thank you, Hamin, once again, because you enlightened me to digging the rap a little bit better. I would listen to tiny bit of Tupac, Biggie, Kanye, Death Grips, and Kendrick, but that was it. Then when you blast the Wu-Tang for that conspiratorial ass, I got more interested in this rap game. I thought I would be a Latino Oreo since Pink Floyd, David Bowie, and Todd Rundgren were my jam, but nope. All you needed was a little bit of Wu-Tang. I now 100% believe Wu-Tang is a better pathway to get into the rap genre. Not an only pathway, but a better one for my moron sense. So I wonder for the Nancy Brown and Jim Smiths that are like, I should get diggity down on this hip hop musicals. What do you guys think would be a good Wu-Tang starter kit in your own opinion? Whether it's the first album or a certain song, what would you showcase to these Jim Smiths to turn them into Jizza Smeezies? Keep up the great work, guys, and keep making them dollar bills, y'all. From 36 moronic chambers, G. Rizza Mizza, the young dirty moron. He's the Smack Attacks Frankie Zero.
Yeah, man.
yeah,
yeah. Greg can write some good stuff, man, with high level inside that shows he's listening to everything we do. So I really appreciate that. And sorry to hear you're going through some tough times, man. And I'm glad we can alleviate some of that stress. My stress level's been crazy high, and just me going to the gym, especially during this McAfee week. I appreciate everybody listening and all the congratulations with that, because it was the biggest thing we've ever done.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you. Next thing up is our partnership with David Icke, to be honest with you, and Billy Ray Valentine's show kicking off, and coming up quick. I'm not going to stooge out the dates, but it'll be me, Billy Ray, and David Icke, and possibly Stevie together. And then for Billy's show, and then I wouldn't doubt within a month after that David Icke will probably join the Horsemen. Probably have Dr. Janda back on. And I just sent out a message to James O'Keefe from Project Veritas to hopefully try and get him to, I know everything's hot right now for him, but I mean, we just had on Zach, name's going to escape me, but he was
the Google guy.
Yeah, he was the whistleblower from the last Project Veritas thing. So it's not like we're not in the same wheelhouse, and especially with McAfee, which was as crazy as I was expecting it to be. My stress level was so high after watching Gringo on Netflix, and we didn't really bring it up because I know he's walked off interviews before talking about that hit piece. He doesn't like it, but he brought up a lot of stuff that was in it in his own way. So I'll be releasing the video probably on Sunday. I just wanted to get the views on the audio or listens on the audio up. So appreciate it. I think it plays awesome. People are really loving it, and it'll be fun to rewatch with him and his wife, Janice, who was great on the show too. Definitely love to hear that you're in the Wu-Tang shit, man. One way you might want to get people in is if they're more TV based. The new Wu-Tang American Saga might be a way to go. I don't know. For me, if it's just the original 36 chambers, I like things in order how they were because of the way they played out. So it's kind of tough to be like, here's a song, listen to this song, does it bang? You know what I mean? Cream is obviously the one, but that whole Wu-Tang album, the first one, is a complete thought from Can It Be That it was also simple then. Brooklyn Zoo, like all that kind of shit is in there. But then Wu-Tang Forever is just an incredible, double disc as well. Singular tracks like Fourth Chamber on Jizzer on Liquid Swords, but Fourth Chamber is one of my favorites. You can listen to the whole Iron Man album from Ghostface is great too. All That I Got Is You, if you want some sentimental shit, or Daytona 500, or Winter Wars. I think Winter Wars is an awesome one. I love Capadonna's verse on that. He spits like 32 bars, and I can get to about 30 of them. In the last two, I lose my breath. Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Link album, I would go with Incarcerated Scarfaces and Wu Gambinos, and Ice Cream. If you want to see your girl shake her ass, throw on Ice Cream. Method Man gets him going on that. And Method Man to Cal, I Came to Bring the Pain. I like Meth vs. Chef. So those early albums, if you're looking from the 93 to 97 era, is tight. And then everyone kind of changes their style and does different things. The Bobby Digital albums, some people don't really like them. And then I like Iron Flag. Some people don't like that shit, the later Wu shit, 8 Diagrams. But like I said, I'm a super fucking diehard. But really, those albums 93 to 97, whether it's the first Wu album to Wu-Tang Forever, anything in between there that's a solo, you're not going to miss. The ODB album, obviously, Shimmy Shimmy Ya. I like Rawhide, a lot of Brooklyn Zoo. I can go on and on, man. There's tons of the main tracks and the B-sides too. And a lot of great things like Method Man with SWV, Old Dirty Bastard with Mariah Carey, Shaq, We Don't Need No Hooks, like with RZA and Method Man. There's tons of fucking great like side pieces that I love to throw on. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that one, man. So keep bumping that Wu-Tang. Get some Tribe Called Quest in you. You know, that's another good way to like a little bit different, appreciate the jazz, appreciate the lyricism. But you know, it's got that boom bap feel to it still a little bit. But keep doing your thing, man. Thanks for listening.
You're gonna be very disappointed in me when and I'm gonna be outside doing flat back bumps and front rolls. My first Wu-Tang album was the W with the Gravel Pit.
Sure.
I was always a lyricist guy. I was into the Beastie Boys, Jurassic 5, Most Def and Talib Kweli. Like those, that was kind of the rap that I listened to growing up. A lot of lyricists. So yeah, I wasn't as big on the Wu, but yeah.
Well, those guys you just mentioned are kind of a second generation of dudes who were smart enough where they didn't have to grow up on the crime side, the New York Times side, staying alive was no jive. Like they were babies in that 1985 Hell's Kitchen era where Wu-Tang was like 12-year-olds. I was about 8, you know what I mean? So Talib Kweli and Mos and those guys, not that they didn't have it tough, but they got to come up in the 90s Renaissance when they were babies to wax and just practice their art form and really polish themselves with an educated mindset where Wu-Tang is street education. Mm-hmm. Those guys have that plus, you know, university education. Now, once you combine that, now you've got the highest level of lyricism. So to go back to this mumble rap shit, it's like some kids who don't even have their GEDs to me, you know, trying to argue with people who have doctorates in this shit. And what kills me is the people with doctorates put them over because they don't want to hurt the rap game. I say, fuck that. They say rap's a young man's game. Bring back everybody who is 40 to 60 years old and let them do their thing, and they will annihilate them all out here. They would crush them all, dude. So, you know,
I mean, I like with Jurassic 5, you got a guy like Charlie Tuna, who's done stuff with your guys over there on the rap battles of epic history.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, you listen to their first 2 albums, Quality Control and What's Golden, and you just hear a lot of lyrics. I mean, 5 guys. I mean, they even say in one of their songs, you got 5 MCs that sound like one, and then they got 2 white guys making their beats in the background. I mean, like, how often is that that you have the white guys making the beats for this awesome, like these black guys to rap over? It's very, I mean,
I like
and DJ Newmark.
I like that with Run the Jewels too. Like some of those guys, you know, there's a lot of different shit out there. I like to see the musicianship come back in. That Black Thought freestyle, it kills me that he doesn't have a solo album that's just like murders like that, dude. Like, you can't cut an 11-minute freestyle like that and then not come back super strong. Just be back on Jimmy Kimmel, like, yeah, boss. Like, come on, man. Like, let's do some real hip hop shit. It's so hard to find. But I'll go back. Ice-T, OG, man, all that.
Oh yeah, Ice-T, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of that early stuff, early 90s stuff that is forgotten about, that just annihilates anything today that Drake or any of those guys, Meek Mill, they couldn't wash their nuts back in the day compared to these guys. So definitely on that Talib Kweli shit, man. That shit's awesome. I love that. I should listen to more of that myself.
So there you have it, guys. Ben, I want to thank you. This is for all of those in the Hamin Media Group. This is my second time
Yeah, man.
being on the Conspiracy Horseman channel. So I'm going to need the rest of y'all to step your game up. Big Ray, you're at 0.
Yeah.
Also, Ben, I want to thank you for coming on to the main event of Hamin Media, the Smack Attack, the A Show. You get to hang out with Stevie in the Legend segment. You guys do the mid card stuff with the Conspiracy Horsemen. I thoroughly enjoy everything that you do here. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. I'm going to plug my stuff and then I'm going to pass it on to you to close us on out. You can find me on Facebook at Colin Wysong. You can find me on Twitter at Colin Wysong. I will be in 2 weeks, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I'm in one of the matinees at Comedy Works. That's Comedy Works with an X.com. And I'll be doing stand up on the 14th. A little bit of 5 minutes. It's fucking terrible, shitty stand up, but I'm getting up there. I'm doing my 5 minutes. I'm crafting. I'm honing my abilities in swords, as you said, just getting up there, getting the time. And the host of the show has actually talked to me about maybe hosting the show as well. So hey, I'm getting on stage, being able to host and rub elbows with some of these great open mic comics that we have here in the Raleigh scene. There's a lot that we do with Chicago. Raleigh and Chicago has that connection. There's a Raleigh Chicago improv festival that happens. There's all kinds of great stuff. So definitely check that out, guys. Ben, you go ahead and close us out here.
That's great, man. I love to hear that you're getting up there doing those reps. Don't worry about if the laughs don't come. You can always reconstruct and rework things. And crowds, different places, jokes are going to work different places, man, different ways on different nights. That's just how it is. But yeah, keep doing your thing, and I appreciate you giving me the big shine here on the main show. It's been a while since I worked the main event since last time.
I mean, you had to jerk the curtain over there at NXT. I mean, sheesh, Bella's just throwing crumbs out to you guys. We're allowing you to shine here on the Smack Attack. So
as bright as I can possibly. But yeah, you can catch me here. hackerhamin.podbean.com. Check out the McAfee super interview this week. Would really appreciate the numbers being sky high on that. This week, they keep saying it. It's a better Master Shoot Theater every week on patreon.com/Russo TWC. And this was a 2-actor. It was Escape from Jeddah. It was a good time this week, as well as a SmackDown review with Stevie. All the shows I've been doing, man. I just appreciate everybody, all hands on deck as we move this thing forward. It's almost, too much for me to be now handing out lower management duties to manage guys below in another tier. So I appreciate everybody towing the line and carving out their piece and, taking as much off my plate so I'm not super stressed all the time as I try and grow this thing to immense proportions to who knows where the fuck it's going to go and who knows where wrestling's going to go, man. Who will be here next year? Probably us, but I don't expect other platforms or other correspondents to be with the way trends are happening. So Black Friday sales are coming up at prowrestlingtees.com/Ben Hamin /Stevie Richards /Greek God Papadon and probably /HMG Hamin Media Group. We're working on that this week, getting it done. New designs coming. So if you don't have the old ones, you want the new ones, they'll all be there. I'm sure we'll have everything uploaded, infidels. It's Hacker Hamin. It's CW. It's the Smack Attack. Big Ray. That's right, the main event. Come on back, buddy. I'll give you another one. YOLO.
Bring the ladies out. Bring the ladies.
Bring them.